This video looks at setting up composite constructions and calculating U values and looking at interstitial condensation checks and loading those into existing projects. First of all, we actually want to create the composite. There's two ways you can do this. You can do this externally in the mechanical program in the minor section, or you can do it within a project. So to do it externally using the minor programs, you go into the minor section of the mechanical tab, selecting the U value calculator, and then starting a new file. Giving it a reference, selecting the element type. Also the surface resistances can be set up with your external internal. The external resistance can also be defined from the wind speed calculator as well, which will make an adjustment accordingly. Also your prevailing conditions. If you're designing to say -4 degrees with an internal of 21, you can actually look at the onset of interstitial condensation, see where it occurs, if it occurs, or whether icing occurs. In compliance with BS 6946, we can select our fastener type, the number of fasteners per square metre, along with the thermal conductivity of the wall tie and the cross-sectional area. And also we can apply our correction for air gaps, which will further adjust the U value. Selecting OK takes us onto the element wizard, where working from the inside of the composite towards the outside, we start layering our materials. Each list of materials is categorised. So for example, if we're looking at some block work, we select the brick block masonry category, we select our preferred block work, typing in the dimension first, the thickness dimension, and then setting the option and adding that to the list on the right hand side. We then select the cement between the brickwork as a bridging layer. Let's say we've got 5% cement. All we then do is close the brick block masonry category, go to the cements plaster screed category, and find mortar in a leaf. Add that to the category on the right hand side. The next category we want to consider is probably insulation. Selecting the insulation category, putting the thickness of the insulation in, and again selecting from an extensive range of manufacturer's information here, we can select the insulation type that we want to use. Add that in, and then we'll have an airspace. I'll put in a 25mm airspace to VR443. Close that category. We'll add some 100mm thick stonework on the external face, and of course we'll express the cement as a bridging layer by selecting the cements plaster screeds, and again selecting mortar outer leaf. If you notice in this listing, I actually left the plaster, or there may be a plasterboard lining on here. Effectively, if you make a mistake at this point, don't worry about it, because once you select the finish button, you get the ability to edit any of these materials. So for example, if I want to add some sort of plasterboard lining to the inside, all I need to do is select edit, insert layer, select the interface between the inside and the blockwork, selecting my wall linings and plasterboard, and then selecting the type of lining that I want to apply. Insert that lining. Any of this detail can be edited. So for example, if I want to change the blockwork type, noting the U value currently of 0.26, if I change to a different blockwork, change that, that changes the U value. So the changes are actually taking place as you change the material. I can introduce a vapor barrier. Normally the insulation would have some sort of foil backing, so again I can insert a layer, select the interface between the blockwork and the insulation, going for a vapor barrier category, selecting 1mm thick aluminium foil, and insert that, and you can see the saturation and the interface vapor pressure lines change in accordance with the introduction of the aluminium foil, preventing moisture transfer. You can see the net calculated value, the U value, the admittance, the decrement, and the km value used for the interface with SBEM. You can also display a patterns list, and also you can display a layer list. We can save this material for use in any project. Using File, Save As, we can save the element. Call it Demo Wall 123. And then I can exit from the U-value calculator. Now if you want to apply that new material to a project, all I have to do is open up a specific project I want to apply it to, go into the mechanical menu and then select the building program. And what we can effectively do is load the slab program and repeat that process. We could actually set up a material at this stage within the building program within a project. So all we need to do is go into the tools menu, and we've got two choices. Either we can select the U-value calculator from here, or by displaying the elements listing we can go in and set the U-value calculator from the list of materials that are loaded with the project. So U-value calculator, I can then open up the material that I set up earlier. There it is, demo wall 123, opening that up. What I can then do, because I'm actually now doing this within the project, I can send the element. That will send the element to the list of materials that is automatically loaded up with the project. If I then close this down, when I then go to the list of elements and scroll down to the list, end of the list, you can see here the new material is now added to the list of materials that are loaded with the project when you load it. So you are now able to change from the existing construction on this building to the new wall, which will be referenced in a separate video on global change elements.